Hello and welcome to another edition of Backyard Grillin' here on Nex-Tech Local 1. And today we're going to make a little bourbon chicken, and just so we don't have just chicken, we're going to throw some grilled potatoes on the grill too. So let's go ahead and get started. This should all time out pretty good with the potatoes and the chicken. So let's go ahead and get started with the potatoes first. First of all, what I'm going to do is just grab some regular red potatoes. You can use white potatoes, pretty much anything you want, and I'm going to just cut them in about 1/4 inch thick, somewhere in there, and just enough to get us started here. I went ahead and started so you didn't have to watch me cut a bunch of these. The joy of being outside, you can just throw your scraps to the side. I need a bigger cutting board. All right, tell you what, let's do one more so we don't run out of potatoes. Okay, we're going to do our potatoes a little different. We're going to go ahead and put them on the grill, but we're going to put them in a pot of boiling water. And I kind of got the boiling water part going already. And the reason we're going to do that is because we're going to let these things cook until they're about 5 minutes away from being totally done. And then we can put them on the grill, just right on the grates, and let them cook the rest of the way. It'll be a little crunchier that way, and just turn out a lot better. So let's go ahead and cut this last one up here, since I still have some more room in my water. All right, so we have our potatoes in our boiling water, or where it's close to being boiling, and what you want to do is put an ample amount of salt in there, and that'll kind of help infuse the salt into the potatoes and give them a little better flavor for later on. So we have some salt there to our water. Now then, we're going to go ahead and get started with the bourbon chicken part of it. And what we're going to do is we're going to make kind of a marinade and let this chicken soak in a bag for about an hour. So let's go ahead and get started with our marinade. And what we're going to do is we're going to mix this together. We're going to put it on the grill and just kind of let it heat up and let some of those flavors start to fuse together. And then we'll take it off and let it cool, and then we'll marinate our chicken. So let's go ahead and get started here. First of all, what we're going to do is we're going to put about 1/2 cup of bourbon. And I kind of cut this in half from the original one that I found, just because there was so much marinade and it seemed like it really went to waste. So we're going to do an equal part of, we put about 1/2 cup of bourbon in there, so we're going to put about 1/2 cup of soy sauce in there. So we're going to do equal parts there. Okay. Now then, we're going to shoot for about 1/4 cup of brown sugar. Get that in there. We want about 2, just kind of depends on how much garlic you like, 2 or 3 cloves. We'll put 2.5, I guess. So we got about 2 cloves of garlic in there. Then we're going to put about 1/2 onion, probably not quite 1/2. We'll probably not use all of this, but I'll go ahead and try to cut this up as fine as possible. You can also use shallots instead of just a regular onion, but it seems like we always have just regular yellow onions on hand, so we're going to go ahead and use that. And like I said, I'm going to cut these pretty fine. Okay, so we got our onions ready. Okay, so we've got our onions and we have everything else here. I'm gonna just kind of stir this up a little bit. I'm gonna put a little black pepper in there. All right, so that's our sauce. If you can see it, it's kind of a thicker sauce. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna put that on the grill and we're gonna let it heat up, and then it'll start to, all those flavors will start to come together. We'll go ahead and take a break, and when we come back, then we'll go ahead and get our chicken marinating, get it on the grill. So don't go away.
The easiest way for you to get anywhere in the country is the Hayes Regional Airport. Twice daily flights between Hayes and Denver means you are only 45 minutes from over 100 direct flights to get you to your destination as quick as possible. Service from SkyWest has completely changed the flight experience out of Hayes thanks to their 50-passenger jets that include complimentary beverages and an in-flight restroom. With free parking and short security lines, there has never been a better time to use the Hayes Regional Airport. The next time you travel, check Hayes first at flyhays.com to see the time and money you could save.
You should never run out of the important stuff.
Cooper!
Oh man, I gotta go.
If your current wireless plan leaves you at the end of your rope, imagine how you'll feel with Nex-Tech Wireless with unlimited everything. Nex-Tech Wireless gives you the freedom to go as far as you want. Nex-Tech Wireless, something different.
What a girl wants in her home kitchen. Ease of use, flexibility, fun, the latest kitchen design, Frigidaire Professional Real Stainless Steel for fewer finger smudges, a French door refrigerator, convection cooking, a quiet dishwasher. Have the staff at Genuine Appliance in Hayes demonstrate new Frigidaire Professional appliances to find what you want. Genuine Appliance at 1224 East 27th in Hayes. Everything a girl wants.
Tune in to Nex-Tech Local 1 for what's happening now so you can learn about interesting events and places that you can visit in our area. Discover new museums and attractions. Hear about interesting places and people. Learn about great organizations that you'd like to support and make plans for your family to attend fun events like fairs, festivals, concerts, and so much more. If you'd like your event to be featured, contact us at Nex-Tech at least 2 months in advance. Tune in to Nex-Tech Local 1 for what's happening now so you can find out about all the great things going on in our area.
Hey, welcome back to Backyard Grilling, where we're making bourbon chicken. Just a little bit of recap, we're gonna also do some grilled potatoes with our bourbon chicken. And we have our potatoes on the grill. They're actually in a pot of boiling water. We're gonna boil them until they're about 5 minutes from being done, or just about there being done. We've also made our bourbon chicken marinade. And we've got some bourbon, equal parts soy sauce, some brown sugar, some pepper, and then some onions that we've chopped up in there. So what we've done is we put that on the grill and we just heated it up. We didn't necessarily bring it to a boil. We just heated it up till it started to get hot, and it kind of releases those flavors, puts them all together. And now we're gonna go ahead and get ready to get our chicken marinating. So what we're gonna do is I've done just a regular whole chicken. Good thing about this is if you want to, you don't have to use a whole chicken. You don't have to use just the breast or anything like that. You can do whatever you want. I just chose a whole chicken because it was a little bit cheaper. So we're gonna go ahead and get our chicken out here. If you wanted to just do, chicken breast, you could do that, but we went ahead and chose to do the whole chicken. Still just a little bit frozen, but it's all right. What we're gonna do here is we're gonna cut the backbone off of this. We're gonna kind of put it in two halves here. So I'm gonna go ahead and get my shears, and I'm just gonna cut this in half so we kind of are almost butterflying it. make one more cut here and get rid of as much of this bone, this back part. Okay, so we've got that. We don't need that. Now we've got our chicken kind of almost butterflied here in half. So we're going to go ahead and cut it the rest of the way in half. Kind of the best way to do it, if you have a towel, you can put a towel on here, or just use the palm of your hand. You got to kind of get through that last bone there a little bit, so that's kind of a pain. So here we have our, basically our two halves here. So we've got a little bit of white meat, a little bit of dark meat, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put just some regular slices in the chicken. And this is going to kind of help let some of that marinade soak into this bird. We're not going to take the skin out. We'll go ahead and leave the skin on. If you don't want to keep the skin on, you don't have to. But we're going to go ahead and leave it on. And we're going to go about 1/2 inch, or not even a 1/2 inch thick, just kind of score it a little bit. So there we go. We've got our bird scored. Okay, now I'm just going to grab a regular Ziploc baggie. And put our bird in there. And then I'm going to take our marinade and I'm just going to pour it in here. And I don't want to pour all of it in there. I just want to pour, I'd say about 3/4 of it in there. I'm going to leave just a little bit in my pan. And that way, while we're cooking this, we can kind of brush it on a little bit. So there we go. We have our bird in there. We're going to marinate this. And we're going to let it go for you could let it go from anywhere from an hour, or you could even go about 24 hours if you wanted to. But we're just going to kind of go ahead and let this one, we'll probably let this one go for about 24 hours. I actually have another one that I did last night that we started marinating, so I'll go ahead and pull it out. Tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and get some clean gloves as well, since we're dealing with chicken, and I'm also going to lose my cutting board. So we got a clean space again. I'm going to go ahead and get my gloves on here, and then we'll get that chicken out that I marinated last night, and we'll get it put on the grill. So this is really pretty simple, just a little bit of time consuming. So, all right, here is the chicken that we did last night. So we'll go ahead and pull it out. Tell you what, I'm going to get a pan. We can put our chicken on. Okay. Got our chicken double bagged here. Don't want to waste any of that good marinade. So there we go. Now then, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put some skewers through our chicken, and this is going to kind of help me later on when we go turning these on the grill and stuff. Plus, it'll keep these together for me. Grab one more here. And I'm just going to stick it kind of through the whole thing. That way I can kind of pick them up and move them around and stuff. So there we have our chicken that we marinated last night. We put it on the grill or in the fridge for about an hour soaking. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put that directly on the grill. And we're going to let that cook for about an hour and a half. And I'm going to go and I'm going to check that about every 30 minutes and brush on some of our leftover marinade that we made earlier. And we'll just brush that on with a pastry brush. We're going to let that go, like I said, for about an hour and a half or until it's the temperature that we want it. So we're going to go ahead and take a break. Hopefully when we come back, our potatoes will be about ready that we can doctor them up a little bit, and we'll also check on our chicken, so don't go away.
The plumber said there's something wrong with my water. It looks like you have hard water. You need a water softener. Let me show you the options we have. Hey, do you guys deliver salt? We sure do. What about drinking water? We have water coolers and drinking water systems. We even have bottled water.
Find us on Facebook and itsbetterwater.com. And remember,
It's not just water, it's better water!
Hi.
We're looking for insurance.
let's see who's free.
When insurance agents work for only one company, their options are simply limited. But a trusted choice independent agent is free to shop many companies for a better deal. Free to do what's right for you.
Let us shop for you. Contact Rogers & Associate to learn more.
Make a difficult choice an easy one with Cedar View Assisted Living's knowledgeable and caring staff. Your loved one will be professionally taken care of as they transition into their new community. With movies, holiday parties, planned exercises, and games, residents will have opportunities every day to enjoy their time at Cedar View. Multiple room styles are available, ensuring a just right fit for your loved one. Come see Cedar View Assisted Living for yourself next to Sternberg Museum. The care you need, the home you want.
Hey, welcome back to Backyard Grilling, where we're making bourbon chicken. Just a little bit of recap. What we've done so far is we made our glaze. We used about a half a cup of bourbon, equal parts soy sauce. We used about a quarter of a cup of brown sugar. I cut up some onions, and then we also put some black pepper in there. And I still have a little bit left. And what I've been doing is kind of about every 30 minutes or so, I kind of go back to the grill and then just brush on our glaze or our marinade onto our chicken. So I went ahead and put the skin side up. I scored it a little bit, and we marinated that chicken. I'd say we marinated it for almost 20 hours. And typically we're going to let that cook to about for about an hour and a half, or we're going to let it go until the breasts are about 160 degrees or so, and that's we know that pretty much at that point it's done. So we also have our grilled potatoes in here, and we're going to go ahead and get ready to get them out. We're going to doctor them up so they got some flavor to them, put them back on the grill, and then by the time they're done, hopefully everything will be done and we can eat. So let's go ahead and get started on our grilled potatoes. What we've done is we went ahead and cut them into about 1/4-inch pieces, and then we put them in boiling water, and we're boiling them, and we're going to let them go until they're about 5 minutes from done, and they're just about done. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of make a sauce, or I guess a glaze to go on those potatoes, and then we'll put them back in on the grill. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to go about 1/4 of a cup of olive oil. There we go. And then we're going to go, I'll get my teaspoons out just so I don't mess anybody up. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to go about a teaspoon of garlic powder. Okay, then just to give it a little bit of heat, we're going to put some cayenne pepper in there, about like so. Then that's not on the recipe, but I like a little bit of that in there anyway. So we're going to put some kosher salt in there, about a teaspoon of kosher salt. Then we're going to do about the same in pepper. See, I started to measure with a teaspoon and then I gave it up because it's kind of a pain. So about a teaspoon of pepper. And then we're also going to use some parsley flakes. If you had fresh, that'd be the best, but I don't, so we're just going to go ahead and use the dried version. Okay, so that is kind of what we're going to put on our potatoes. Really simple. All right, so now let's go ahead and go to the grill and check our potatoes. All right, there we go. We boiled them for about, I don't know, I'd say 30, 40 minutes. We put plenty of salt in the water, so it kind of gave them some flavor. When we tasted them a little earlier, they were about done. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead, if I had a strainer, I would just strain it, but I'm going to go ahead and put them right into our olive oil. I'm going to try to get as much of the water off as possible. Okay. Like I said, a colander would be nice to strain this. I'll step aside and do that. There we go, less water now. Okay, good enough. Now then, we're just going to try to stir this up as good as possible without tearing our potatoes up too much. Okay, there we go. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to place these back on the grill. All right, so we're going to put those back on the grill. We're just going to let those brown up, and by the time they're done, our chicken should be done, and so we'll come back and we'll give it a taste. So don't go away. We're going to taste this bourbon chicken. We'll see how good it is.
When a storm leaves your home battered and damaged, there's only one thing you can do. Forget all about it. The men in black at AQUA Shield Roofing and Construction have the skills and knowledge to fix your home so you'll forget the damage ever happened. Along with roofs, they do siding, guttering, insulation, windows, doors, and more. With offices in Hugoton, Oberlin, and Liberal, they're never too far away when damage strikes. When you need to forget about home damage, call the men in black at AQUA Shield Roofing and Construction.
If you could, what would you have in your kitchen? The quietest dishwasher? Sure. A big 28 cubic foot refrigerator? Oh yeah. A true convection wall oven? Check. You'll find Frigidaire Professional Kitchen Appliances at Genuine Appliance in Hayes. They have all that, plus real stainless steel for fewer fingerprints and smudges. Frigidaire at Genuine Appliance at 1224 East 27th in Hayes. Your dream kitchen doesn't have to be a dream anymore.
Hey, welcome back to Backyard Grilling, where we're making bourbon chicken. And we just took these off the grill. We're going to kind of let them sit there and rest a little bit before we cut them up. Right now, let's check on our potatoes. Of all things to forget, I forgot a spatula. So, okay. All right, so just a little bit of recap. We took our potatoes. I didn't take them all off the grill, but we took them and we boiled them for about 30 to 40 minutes until they were just about done. You don't want to cook them too much, or you go to put them back on the grill and they fall through, because I had some of them do that. But the idea behind this is you can almost get a crispier potato without just cooking it to death. So we're going to go ahead and we have our grilled potato chips, basically. If you want to, we can kind of go ahead and do put a little kosher salt on them. Just like so. And we can even put a few more parsley flakes on them. You could also, if we wanted to, we could put them back in our dish that we took them out of. And there's still a little bit of, olive oil and stuff in there. And we'll just kind of stir them up a little bit. Put them back on our plate. We're good there. Now then, our chicken, you can do it a couple different ways. You can kind of cut it apart if you know you like more of a, if you wanted the drumstick, you could peel that off. But, look at that. It's full of juice because we've been kind of marinating it and everything. Looks great. Tell you what, we're just going to kind of pick this apart a little bit, put it on the plate, and we're good to go. So we made bourbon chicken, very simple, with a little bit of grilled potatoes. We invite you to join us next time for another episode of Backyard Grilling.